This street has to be for people first, considering women and children, considering disability, environmentally friendly, comfortable microclimate condition for people walking, above 70% pedestrian generally in Ethiopia. We have to build the streets for people first.
Hello, Clever Habits Tribe, and welcome back to Season 7. Today we're going to be talking about urban design in the age of the climate crisis and Africa on the rise. So we have architect, soon-to-be Dr. Sara Amare Gebremeskel from Tigray in Ethiopia. Sara, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you for having me, Gaby.
What is the difference between landscaping and urban design? I think a lot of us don't really understand that.
Yeah, urban design is a kind of a city scale design. There's a city layout modeling, and the landscaping is also just already allocated to public space, park, street, doing within that scale. Landscaping is a small scale than the urban design.
Okay, so then what is your thesis about in this space?
It focuses on creating inclusive spaces, inclusive street. Now we are developing a new theory called MerebatatStreet. Within that thesis, together with my PhD advisors, it's a new urban design theory or street design theory with a spatial cultural context.
I know you don't want to give it all away, but what are some of the practical uses for the cultural context in East Africa? Maybe just give us one or two.
We are very efficient in using our Mereba. It's a kind of a courtyard in Tigray culture. We adapt this kind of a space to our streets and create multiple of Mereba. Then we make our street effective and inclusive.
Interesting concept. I like it. Will this mean that we have to change the way that we build cities in the future? Because many of them have the concrete sidewalk and the asphalt road. That doesn't really work for that type of situation.
Yes, it doesn't work. That's why, in the Rotterdam and Amsterdam, that's the top leading sustainable cities. They are changing their approach in just building or reconstructing the streets. They just remove the asphalt and change it with interlocking brick. They use permeable surfaces.
So with this opportunity, unfortunately, because of the war that just finished up in Tigray, there's a lot of destruction to be rebuilt. So how is Tigray recovering their infrastructure in this sustainable way right now?
There was an opportunity to integrate such sustainable landscape and urban design principles, but they are just fulfilling the current demand, designing streets for cars. That's the focus. As a member of GSTs, the Global Society of Defense Society Scholars, I am trying to talk to them on rebuilding our streets, focusing on the people needs and on the sustainability. It's not so successful yet, but it will be.
It's a bit tough, I can imagine. Is there anything that people can do individually, maybe in front of their house or for their shop, to make it a little bit more pedestrian-friendly?
They can make their surfaces permeable. They can maximize green coverage on their compound. There are many different examples regarding this.
What are some inexpensive permeable materials? You mentioned stone, and what other things can they use?
Yeah, the most known in our case is cobblestone. Like I told you, interlocking brick, which is recently introduced in the Netherlands, in the Dutch cities. We can adapt that. It can be expensive, of course, initially. It's very long lasting. It's permeable, very attractive and flexible also to change for maintenance.
It would also lower the cost by avoiding property damage from flooding.
Yes, yes.
This is very interesting. There's two other things I would like to ask you about, Sara. In Addis, they've been making a lot of these changes, and you've been working with them with the AACRA. Yeah, Accra.
Addis Ababa City Road Authority.
So you all are working on a manual. So what is going into that manual to help with the building of the city in the future?
We have already reviewed the gap assessment. Well, on the existing one there was no street definition. Everything was about highway. Now we are incorporating the street definition. This street has to be for people first, considering women and children, considering disability, environmentally friendly, comfortable microclimate condition for people walking, above 70% pedestrian, generally in Ethiopia. We have to build the streets for people first. I am hopeful it will shape the nature of the streets in Ethiopian cities.
Yeah, I hope so too. And unfortunately, a lot of people get hit by cars, either cycling or walking, because the road is dominated by cars and trucks. What about rural areas? Yeah, how can we help them to also be ready for pedestrians and climate crisis ready?
It's all about our manuals and professions. I was talking to a program manager at the Global Cities Design Initiative. So I asked her, what's the problem? What is the cause that we are building car-centered streets or car priority streets? Where are we building such streets? We had a good traditional streets. So her answer was, it starts from the curriculum. When people, even the society, pronounce a street, they defined it as it's for car, not for them. After the Accra preparation and also the curriculum also modified, I think it will be easy to make them more pedestrian if we just finish our assignment as a profession in the academic curriculum, and also when enforced policy, it will be easy for those developing towns than those already developed inner cities. We should focus on people. Our cities can be livable for us also, for our health, for our environment. Happy people is wealth, by the way. It has a direct relationship,
I would agree with you there, Sara. So where else can we follow you when you become Dr. Sara? Where can we follow you online?
I usually use this LinkedIn. I update on my page. I have also created a MerebatatStreet company profile on LinkedIn. I will be there.
Okay, that's actually how I found you. You posted some interesting things about architecture. I'm like, So everyone, you can follow Sara at Sara Amare Gebremeskel on LinkedIn. And I know many of us are getting frustrated as we work with governments or waiting for governments to implement their plans. It takes time to get all those moving parts into order. So hopefully you've heard some tips that you can do on your own property while you're waiting for the bigger changes to come. So this is GabyV for Clever Hybrids, and we'll see you in the next one.